Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Scott to Go podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 5, Lockup. So I'm just going to start off with the plot summary and then just talk about my general thoughts about this episode and any Easter eggs or foreshadowing elements I might have noticed. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says Lucy uses her ghostly state to wake Joseph and ask where he hid the Darkhold. Coulson arrives and is able to learn of this before Joseph dies from her infection. Coulson decides to use Morrow against Lucy, but doesn't tell Mace. The latter, whose public approval was high after her heroics during a bombing in Vienna, becomes more popular after he reveals his inhuman status in a television debate with Nadir. However, Simmons threatens to reveal the truth about his Vienna actions, and he agrees to exempt her from any further lie detection tests. At the prison, Lucy infects the staff who attack Coulson and May. Daisy saves them while Mac and Reyes break Morrow out. Reyes confronts the last member of the 5th Street Locos gang who had paralyzed Gabe in a paid hit. Reyes loses control and the Ghost Rider kills the prisoner. This allows Lacey to kidnap Morrow, whose help she needs. Mace secretly meets with Nadir and agrees to help her when she blackmails him with footage of the Ghost Rider's actions while working with S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's the plot summary for this episode. This was another enjoyable episode because we get a bunch of Ghost Rider. And I know this first chunk of the season's all Ghost Rider, but we get to see Ghost Rider light somebody on fire. And it's a little bit of a prison break because they're going in just trying to get some stuff at first, just trying to, get Morrow out, but then all hell breaks loose. And love when shit goes awry in a prison. And this was, this episode didn't let you kind of down in that kind of the cliche of the, prison break, kind of prison episode that a lot of TV shows end up happening. This happened in The Flash and in Arrow and in other things. But anyways, I still enjoyed this nonetheless. I like that we see at one point, Daisy take on a bunch of watchdog inmates, and you see that at first you can hold her own for a little bit, but even a superhero, they have their limits, especially if they're not using their superpowers. So that was a really cool, interesting scene. I really just loved the different fight and action scenes, action sequences in this show, and this episode was one of those great examples of that in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like we're seeing just this one person, just Daisy, just taking out a whole room of inmates and just not even having to use her powers, just using her skills that she learned from May and in her time with S.H.I.E.L.D. So I just really enjoyed that part. So one of the things I liked about this is Simmons having to do the lie test at first, the polygraph test at the beginning, and then getting out of it by being a little bit like, hey, I noticed you were lying about that, Mr. Mace. And I like that he's kind of just like, yep, you don't gotta worry about that no more, don't worry. She's totally exempt. We all trust each other. So I thought that was kind of fun thing, especially with Gemma, always being the one who's terrible at lying, terrible at keeping a secret, and she knows that about herself. She knows she's never really good at that. We have a little not hint, I don't know the right word. A little throwback to when she spent time with Hydra and she was undercover for S.H.I.E.L.D. with Hydra, and that, she was terrible at that. Like, she was not terrible at that, but doesn't enjoy that kind of thing because she's not good at keeping a secret in her opinion, but she does a very good job for the most part. But yeah, we got a little throwback to that when she was doing her polygraph test, and the fact that she's still struggling with telling the truth. I like that's part of her character still. They grow in certain ways, but in other ways she's still got this kind of moral guilt that comes with lying and keeping a secret, and that's why she's so bad at it. So I just really enjoyed that little part, that little bit of character building we get from her. So what else do we have? We see Coulson's arm shield again in this episode, and anytime that thing pops up, I get a big smile on my face because it's awesome. If I could have one, I would. I would never be able to use it, but I'd have it. I'd use it as like an umbrella. That's pretty much all I'd have to be able to use it for. I'm not an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I want it nonetheless. What else do I have written down? Oh, when Ghost Rider shows up near the end of the episode and takes out the last member of the 5th Street Locos, there's a riot going on outside the cell that Ghost Rider is in. As soon as Ghost Rider walks out into the hallway where all these cells are and where all these inmates are fighting, they all just scurry away running and close their cells and go back into it. I just love that scene. It was just really funny, kind of like, yep, they know better. Don't mess with the guy with the flaming skull head. If I saw that, I would just take out my wallet and give up all my money. Even if he didn't ask for it, I would just do that just in case, because that's a scary guy. And I just love that Ghost Rider design, so I just like that they kind of used it in that way. You know, he only burns a couple of people in this one, but he's still got a little bit of, like, you see that all these inmates are scared of him because of what he's done up to this point, taking out the whole 5th Street Locos gang. And yeah, so that little bit was really fun. What else do I have written down? Daisy versus the Watchdogs, I already mentioned that. And, oh yeah, and then just Mace coming out as an Inhuman and Gemma using that against him. And I like that it was also a little bit of a nod that it was kind of a... She didn't out and out say what it was about it, the Vienna attacks, that was a lie. So I like that they kind of hint to that. It's like, oh, there's a little bit more to Mace being an Inhuman than they're letting on at this point, and Gemma seems to know a little bit about that. So I like that little bit, that little thing that they dropped in there, a little bit of foreshadowing for the fact that it comes out. For the spoiler, for those of you who haven't watched this season already, but for those of us who already have, we know that he's not actually Inhuman. He's got a little serum that he uses. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting little thing, being like, that's how Gemma gets out of having to do further lie detection tests, is by like calling him out on that, but not saying it out loud. So I really enjoyed that little part. But yeah, that's all the elements of this episode I enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there's anything you liked or didn't like about this episode in particular. Thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.